Here's what's happening in the McLean market right now on the Foundation Report. I'm Eric Fafoglia with the Strong Foundations Group of Compass. I work right here in Great Falls, McLean, and of course the greater DC area. And I work on an education-first approach with my clients using a 208-step selling process and 128-step buying process. All right, let's jump right into July data for McLean. The median sales price for McLean jumped to $1.42 million in July. That's up 9% year over year. That led the way for Fairfax County, which was only up 5%. So McLean's seeing awesome gains. But the prices aren't telling us the whole story. While values are climbing, sales activity is cooling off in July. Only 63 homes sold in July, which is down 26% year over year. And new listings dropped 27%, down to 77 homes last month. Days on market, it took about 17 days for a house to sell last month, which is up slightly year over year and longer than Fairfax County's average. In higher price markets like McLean, that's like not totally out of the ordinary to be up slightly year over year. There are less buyers because it is summer, and that's pretty typical. Sellers received 97.1% of their original list price. So we're still seeing that sellers are reaching for the stars and not quite getting that much when a buyer comes in with an offer. Buyers are negotiating more, using more contingencies in their offer, and are just being more selective overall. Again, this is another summer typical tactic that we see. Less buyers in the market because many people are traveling, kids are out of school, parents are busy. And so those that are out shopping are shopping for deals. McLean had 323 active listings in the month of July. That's down 23% year over year. That's a big drop in active inventory, and that's part of what is keeping prices higher despite slower sales. The month's supply of homes in McLean is at 4.9 months, meaning it would take 4.9 months for us to sell through all those available homes if no other listings came to the market. That is the highest of all the three areas that we track, but it is down year over year. So that shows us leaning towards a pretty balanced market, more favoring buyers at the moment, typical summer slump. We saw 9 homes sell that were new construction in McLean on the MLS last month. This doesn't take into account off-market new construction sales or custom home builds where someone bought land, tore down the house, and built a home. We are noticing this is pretty typical with the trend nationally because builders are pulling back on speculative homes with rising costs and of course higher rates. We're in a classic midsummer luxury sales slump. Every summer, they kind of see this happen. July and August can be the slower months. People are on vacation, traveling, kids are out of school, and so people are waiting until September to put their houses on the market, and that's when we should start to see a lot of sales activity jump and likely prices continue to climb. So if you're a seller, the data of fewer homes coming to the market, less buyers transacting, but prices going up slightly, tell us that we should really focus on making sure your house stands out, because the ones that are transacting are the standout special homes. If you're a buyer, it may be a window of opportunity for the typical house is getting a little bit less than what they were hoping for with their original list price. As always, we're really following the mortgage data closely heading into fall. We have 3 more Fed meetings this year, and last week we saw the labor data come in much lower than expected. With that, we saw mortgage rates drop into the mid-6s. That's the first time we've seen a 6.5% interest rate on a 30-year conventional loan since October of 2024. All right, that's the latest from McLean data in July 2025. I believe that if you're trying to make a strong decision, that it starts with a strong foundation of knowledge. If you'd like to explore how this market affects your plans or your home or your long-term goals, I'd love to chat. I'm Eric Fafoglia, and I'll see you next month on the Foundation Report.